You've been asking, when will it be my turn? You've watched others win the lottery, the business deal, the sudden breakthrough, and quietly wondered, why not me? Maybe you've prayed, affirmed, and tried to stay positive. Yet deep down, there's a fear that the universe has forgotten your address. But what if I told you, it's not that you're unlucky, it's that you've been unknowingly blocking the very abundance you've been calling in. What if the moment you shift one inner belief, doors could open so wide, money and opportunities rush in faster than you can count? Today, I'm revealing a divine law, one Florence Scovel Shinn lived by, that can turn your spoken word into a magnet for wealth, even lottery win. This isn't theory. This is the spiritual blueprint that explains who truly receives and how it manifests, often in ways that feel miraculous. Because here's the truth, the universe is not random. Every win, every breakthrough, every unexpected deposit is drawn by law. And when you align with that law, deliberately, unapologetically, you stop waiting on luck and start walking in certainty. If you've been tired of waiting, if you've been watching others live your dream while you stay stuck in someday, stay with me. In the next few minutes, I'll show you how to step into the same stream of divine flow that Florence herself spoke of, where your word is your wand, and money knows your name. By the end, you won't just hope for abundance, you'll know exactly how to call it, and keep it. And that's my promise to you. What if money, luck, and blessings are already yours, but your words keep them away? In the next few minutes, I will show you Florence's exact method to attract unexpected money and even lottery wins without chasing, forcing, or begging life to change. I've seen this shift bank accounts, open doors, and turn the unlucky into the chosen almost overnight. Stay with me because one phrase changes everything. You know that sinking feeling when you buy a ticket full of hope and then watch the numbers pass you by? That little drop in the chest when you open the bank app and pray the balance has grown, but it hasn't. That quiet ache when you see someone else win and you smile on the outside, but inside, you whisper, why not me? Your word is your wand, but the wand cannot bless what your heart secretly resents. The divine law is simple. Bless what you desire, and never resent it. When you resent, you declare to the universe, that is not mine, that is far from me. Resentment is offense, blessing is a bridge. The one who blesses wealth, love, and opportunity in others, invites it to sit at their own table. When Florence said, what you bless in others, you draw to yourself, she was revealing a spiritual key that most will spend a lifetime searching for. Why do so many block this law? Because they believe blessing another's fortune means accepting their own lack. They feel smaller when someone else wins. They feel unseen when another is chosen. But that is the great illusion. Every blessing you give is a seed, and the soil it grows in is your own life. Here is the shift. Each time you see a symbol of wealth, whisper in your heart, I bless your fortune, and I claim mine. Bless the stranger's new car. Bless the friend's promotion. Bless the lottery winner's joy. Do this without a shadow of bitterness. Soon the universe begins to trust you with the very thing you once envied. Say these with me now, slowly, twice each. I bless the wealth of others, and my own comes easily. I bless the wealth of others, and my own comes easily. Every dollar I see is proof of my own supply. Every dollar I see is proof of my own supply. Money and luck find me in perfect ways. Money and luck find me in perfect ways. I bless the river of supply, and it blesses me in return. There was a man who had played the lottery for years. Always the same numbers, always the same routine, and always the same loss. Each win by someone else felt like a stone in his chest. Until one morning he heard these words, bless what you want, or it will never bless you back. It struck him like lightning. That week he began a practice. Each time he saw a winner announced, he whispered, I bless your fortune and I claim mine. At first it felt false, but then it began to feel like. Within 3 months he didn't just win a small prize, he received an unexpected inheritance from a distant relative. It wasn't the lottery ticket that changed, it was the current of his spirit. Bless what you want, or it will never bless you back. Your resentment locks the door, your blessing turns the key. Before you sleep tonight, bless every dollar you've ever seen. Bless the lottery winners, bless the rich, bless the fortunate, bless them until your heart feels light, because that is the moment the current turns in your favor. You have 24 hours to prove this works. Start blessing, and watch what finds you. What if the very thing you've been praying for is standing outside the door, waiting for you to stop pushing against it? How many nights have you laid awake, replaying the fears of what if it doesn't work, holding tight to the thought that maybe the timing isn't right, maybe you're not ready, maybe the blessing skipped over you, and yet, somewhere inside you felt the faint whisper, it's already here. Today, I will show you the law that turns waiting into receiving, the law that Florence Scovel Shinn called the Law of Nonresistance, the sacred art of letting the river carry you instead of trying to drag it upstream. If you've been straining, forcing, or trying to control every detail of how your blessing arrives, you've unknowingly kept it at arm's length. When you release, you allow. And when you allow, you receive. Non-resistance is not giving up. It is giving over, handing your request to the infinite with the trust of a child, knowing the delivery is certain. People block this law because they fear letting go means losing control. But the truth, control is an illusion. The more you grip, the more life slips through your fingers. Imagine holding a bird so tightly that you crush it. That is what resistance does to your dreams. To shift into alignment, you must speak the word and then release the outcome. Like Florence said, your word is your wand. You cast it once, and then you trust the magic to work. You don't keep pulling up the seed to check if it's growing. I now release the need to control. I now release the need to control. I trust the divine process in perfect timing. I trust the divine process in perfect timing. I flow with the river of life, and it carries me to my good. I flow with the river of life, and it carries me to my good. What is mine arrives easily and without struggle. What is mine arrives easily and without struggle. There was a woman burdened with debt, counting every dollar in fees. She prayed, she begged, she forced herself into schemes to make it happen, but the money never came. One day, in exhaustion, she spoke aloud, I release this. I trust the right channels will open. That week, she stopped checking her account every hour. She stopped making desperate moves. She began to bless every bill that arrived, saying, you are already paid. Within 2 weeks, a client she'd forgotten about sent full payment for a project from months before. Not a lottery win, not a miracle, but the exact amount she needed, through a channel she had never once considered. That is the power of non-resistance. Stop gripping, stop forcing. The current is already moving toward you, but you must lift the anchor. Your fear strangles the flow. Your trust sets it free. When you resist nothing, everything begins to move. There is another law, the law of assumption. The sacred act of living as though your desire is already fact. This is not pretending. This is possession. It is the quiet certainty that what you have spoken is already yours in the unseen. Florence said, never voice lack or limitation. Your supply is limitless and unfailing when you live in the joyous certainty of its existence. Many people block this law because they live in the land of I hope instead of I know. Hope is a bridge, assumption is the arrival. If you still wake up wondering, will it happen? You have not yet stepped into the vibration of it is done. To shift into alignment, you must inhabit the state of the wish fulfilled. Speak, act, and think from the version of you who already holds it. If your desire is money, stop thinking like the one in lack. Bless your wallet as though it is full. If your desire is a lottery win, speak gratitude for it before the numbers are drawn. The assumption draws the reality to match it. I now stand in the reality of my desire. I now stand in the reality of my desire. I am grateful for my blessings as if they have already arrived. I am grateful for my blessings as if they have already arrived. I live as the one who has received. I live as the one who has received. It is done. There was a man who played the same lottery numbers for years, always saying, if I win, but one day he changed his language. He said, when my win arrives, it will bless men. He began to plan as if it had already happened, setting aside money for charity, imagining the checks written. The lives changed. Weeks later, he didn't win the jackpot, but he did receive an inheritance from an uncle he barely knew, a sum greater than the jackpot he'd been chasing. Why? Because he stopped living in if and stepped into win. The form didn't matter. The supply came because he assumed it was already his. The doorway to your desire does not open to a knock of doubt. It opens to the quiet turn of the key, called assumption. Act as though it is here, and it will be. Have you ever felt like the clock was against you? Like life was moving forward for everyone else, but your moment, your breakthrough, was stuck in a waiting room, with no explanation. You pray, you visualize, you speak the words, and still it feels delayed. But what if the delay isn't a denial? What if the blessing is already on its way, but it's waiting for you to step into the vibration where it can meet you. This is where the law of divine timing steps in, the unshakable truth that everything arrives in the perfect moment, not a second too soon, and not a heartbeat too late. Florence Scovel Shinn said, "Infinite spirit is never too late and never too soon. It is always on time." The challenge is most people see not yet as never. They misinterpret a pause as a punishment. But in divine timing, the pause is preparation. Divine timing is the choreography of the universe, aligning you, your desire and the circumstances into a perfect intersection. People block it because they either rush ahead of the current or stop altogether in frustration. They demand delivery on their own schedule, not realizing that the miracle needs more moving parts than they can see. To shift into alignment, you must surrender your clock and trust the one that never runs late. This doesn't mean inaction, it means aligned action. Keep walking toward your vision, but release the panic of when. The moment you stop vibrating with impatience, you stop pushing your good away. I trust the perfect timing of my life. I trust the perfect timing of my life. Everything I need arrives exactly when I need it. Everything I need arrives exactly when I need. The pause is my preparation for greater things. The pause is my preparation for greater things. I am always in step with the divine plan. I am always in step with the divine plan. There was a man who had been applying for his dream job for years, always just missing the mark. He cursed the timing, thinking life was unfair. But during that lost time, he developed skills in a side project that he thought was unrelated. One day, the same company reached out to him, this time for a role far higher and better paid than he'd ever imagined. That delay wasn't a delay at all. It was divine timing aligning him with a greater version of his dream. The waiting is not your enemy. The waiting is your training ground. Your good will not pass you by, but you must meet it at the appointed hour. And then there is the law of spoken word, the undeniable truth that your words create the blueprint of your reality. Florence Scovel Shinn declared, "Your word is your wand. What you speak, whether in fear or faith, shapes the unseen and calls it into form." Words are seeds. Every sentence is either planting flowers or weeds in the garden of your life. People block this law by using their words carelessly, declaring lack, repeating fears, making jokes about misfortune as if the universe cannot tell they are just kidding. The subconscious does not laugh. It obeys. Every "I can't afford it," "I'm always unlucky," or "nothing ever works out for me," is a command to the infinite to make it so. To shift into alignment, you must speak only what you want to multiply. Catch yourself mid-sentence and reframe it. If you say, "I'm broke," shift to "I am receiving more money every day." If you say, "This always happens to me," shift to "Everything is working out for my good." Like a skilled gardener, you must prune the weeds of careless speech and plant only the words you want to grow. I speak only words of power and faith. I speak only words of power and faith. My words align with my highest good. My words align with my highest good. I plant only seeds of abundance and joy. I plant only seeds of abundance and joy. My word is my wand, and it works wonders. My word is my wand, and it works wonders. There was a woman who constantly complained about her bad luck with money. Every bill became a declaration of lack. Every unexpected expense, a story of misfortune. One day, after reading Florence's work, she began blessing every bill with the words, "Thank you for the money that pays you. Thank you for the money that returns to me multiplied." Within months, unexpected refunds, discounts, and new clients began appearing. She didn't get lucky, she shifted the script of her life by shifting the script of her speech. Your words are building your tomorrow. Speak wisely. The language you choose today will decide the world you live in next year. And here's the truth. Divine timing and the spoken word are not separate laws. They work together. Your words set the intention. Divine timing delivers the manifestation. You are the architect. The universe is the builder. But a wise architect knows to trust the builder's schedule while never compromising the blueprint. So speak your desire into existence, and then trust the exact moment it appears. Have you ever been in a room full of people, yet still felt unseen? Not because you were invisible, but because you were playing small, dimming your light, so others wouldn't feel uncomfortable. You tell yourself you're being humble, but deep down, you know it's fear. Fear of being misunderstood. Fear of failing publicly. Fear that maybe you aren't worthy of shining. But what if I told you that your light isn't optional? that you were sent here with a frequency that no one else can carry, and if you hide it, the world goes without something it desperately needs. You are not here to blend in. You are here to stand out on purpose. This is the divine law of visibility, the truth that what is meant to be seen must be brought into the open. Florence Scovel Shinn said, "No man is a success in business unless he loves his work." But I'll add, no one can succeed if they keep their gifts locked in a box labeled someday. The universe moves through vessels, and if the vessel hides, the flow stalls. People block this law when they wait for perfect timing or enough confidence before showing up. They think they need more skills, more validation, more proof, when in reality, those things only come after you step into the spotlight. You cannot rehearse for a life you refuse to live. To shift into alignment, you must choose visibility over perfection. That means sharing the song before the album is done. It means applying for the role before you feel ready. It means walking into the room knowing that your presence is not an accident. The more you show up, the more the universe can show off through you. I choose to be seen for who I truly am. I choose to be seen for who I truly am. My gifts are needed, and I share them boldly. My gifts are needed, and I share them boldly. I shine without apology. I shine without apology. The right people always recognize my value. The right people always recognize my value. There was a young artist who painted in secret for years. Her friends didn't even know. One day she felt a quiet nudge to post her work online, just one piece. That post caught the eye of someone who introduced her to a gallery owner. Within months, her work was being sold for more than she made in a year at her day job. Nothing changed about her talent. The only shift was that she let herself be seen. You cannot impact the world from the shadow. Hiding your light doesn't protect you. It robs the world of your brilliance, and then there's the divine law of circulation, the flow of giving and receiving that governs every form of abundance. Florence said, "Man must make the first move. Energy, money, love, opportunities, all of it is meant to move like a river. When you hoard, cling, or grip too tightly, you dam the flow. The law is simple. What you send out comes back, multiplied. But if you send out nothing, you receive nothing." People block this law when they operate from fear of loss. They cling to money because they fear not having enough. They hold back encouragement because they fear being rejected. They hoard opportunities because they think there won't be enough. That fear creates stagnation, and stagnation always feels like lack. To shift into alignment, you must give from a place of trust. Not reckless giving that depletes you, but generous giving that affirms abundance. When you give, you tell the universe, "I have enough, and more is on the way." And the universe mirrors that back to you. Circulation is not just about money, it's about time, love, kindness, forgiveness. Every time you open your hand, you open your life. I give freely, and it returns to me, multiplied. I give freely, and it returns to me, multiplied. I am a channel for abundance in all forms. I am a channel for abundance in all forms. The more I give, the more I receive. The more I give, the more I receive. I trust the endless flow of good in my life. I trust the endless flow of good in my life. There was a man who ran a small cafe. Business was slow, and he started cutting back. Cheaper ingredients, fewer hours, no promotions. The more he withheld, the worse business got. One day, out of desperation, he tried something radical. He gave away free coffee for an entire morning. That act drew in dozens of new customers, many of whom became regulars. Within months, his sales were higher than ever. The law of circulation had been waiting for him to move first. You cannot outgive the infinite. The hand that gives is the hand that receives. 2 lines you will remember. You cannot bless the world from the shadows. What you release in faith will always return with interest. I've been where you are, shrinking so no one stares, holding back so nothing's taken. But that's not living. That's survival in disguise. When I stopped waiting to be perfect and started showing up, messy, opportunities multiplied. When I stopped gripping every penny and started circulating money, doors opened. And the wildest part, the more I gave, the more I felt supplied. The more I was seen, the more I saw who I truly was. The world doesn't need your silence, it needs your sound. It doesn't need you to cling, it needs you to flow. You are not here to be invisible. You are here to be a lighthouse, to stand tall, to shine bright, to guide others into safe water. And lighthouses don't hide their beams out of fear that the ocean might get angry. They shine because it's their purpose. So if you've been hiding, step out. If you've been clinging, let go. You will be surprised how fast the universe rushes in to meet you when you finally act like you believe it will. That's not wishful thinking. That's divine law. You've been standing at the doorway of your breakthrough for longer than you care to admit. You feel it, that pull in your gut that says, it's right there. But every time you reach for it, something inside whispers, not yet, not ready. And so you wait. You watch other people step through doors meant for them, and you wonder if maybe yours will open someday. But deep down, you're scared it never will. Let me ask you, what if the door is already unlocked and you've been holding the key the whole time? What if your blessing has been waiting on you? This is the divine law of decisive action, the truth that the universe meets movement, not hesitation. Florence Scovel Shinn said, "Never do today what intuition says to do tomorrow." But the reverse is just as true. Never delay what your spirit is telling you to do now. The spiritual current of life favors momentum. When you decide and act, you send a clear, bold signal to the universe. I'm ready. And readiness always draws resource. People block this law because they're obsessed with certainty. They want a 100% guarantee before they take a step. They want to see the whole staircase before they lift their foot. But certainty is the reward for action, not the requirement for it. The longer you stall, the more the energy around your opportunity cools. Life is a dance, and hesitation is how you miss the beat. To shift into alignment, you must learn to act from faith instead of proof. It means sending the email before you've figured it all out. It means saying yes before you know how it will happen. It means trusting that movement itself is the miracle maker. When you act on divine nudges, the right people, places, and provisions appear, often in ways you couldn't plan if you tried. I act boldly when my spirit says move. I act boldly when my spirit says move. The universe supports every step I take in faith. The universe supports every step I take in faith. My decisions create divine momentum. My decisions create divine momentum. I trust the way forward will appear as I walk it. I trust the way forward will appear as I walk it. There was a man who dreamed of opening his own design studio. He kept saying, "One day when I save enough." Then one morning, he woke up and realized 5 years had passed. Nothing had changed except his frustration. That day, he took one bold step. He registered his business name. It was small, almost symbolic. But that same week, a friend introduced him to a client looking for exactly his skills. That single job paid more than his monthly salary. And the rest, as they say, unfolded because he stopped waiting and started moving. You cannot wish yourself into a new reality. Decisions are the hinges that open destiny. And then there's the divine law of receptivity, the willingness to receive without guilt, fear, or self-sabotage. Many people think they have a manifesting problem when really they have a receiving problem. Florence said, "No man can fail if he sees himself a success." But here's the unspoken truth. If you secretly believe you're unworthy, you'll block blessings that are trying to reach you. People block this law by clinging to old self-images. They can't imagine being wealthy because they've always been broke. They can't imagine being loved because they've always been alone. So when money, love, or opportunity shows up, they downplay it, deflect it, or dismiss it. They say things like, "You didn't have to," or "It's too much," not realizing they're turning away the very thing they prayed for. To shift into alignment, you must start practicing the art of gracious acceptance. When someone compliments you, say thank you without a rebuttal. When an opportunity appears, say yes before your doubt talks you out of it. Receiving well isn't arrogance, it's alignment. The universe doesn't pour into closed hands. I am worthy of every blessing that flows to me. I am worthy of every blessing that flows to me. I receive with gratitude and grace. I receive with gratitude and grace. The more I receive, the more I can give. The more I receive, the more I can give. I allow good to find me in expected and unexpected ways. I allow good to find me in expected and unexpected ways. There was a woman who dreamed of traveling, but told herself it was too expensive. One day, her sister surprised her with a prepaid trip. Her first reaction was to decline. She didn't want to owe anyone. But her sister looked her in the eye and said, "This isn't a debt, it's a gift." She chose to accept, and that trip became the very place she met a business partner who would later triple her income. If she had said no out of guilt, her life would still be the same. You cannot overflow from an empty cup. A closed heart cannot catch an open blessing. I've lived both sides of these laws, the paralysis of indecision and the scarcity of refusal. I know what it's like to wait for everything to be just right and watch opportunities pass like ships in the night. I know what it's like to turn away help because I thought I had to earn everything alone. Both are prisons built from fear, and both collapse the moment you decide to move and receive. The truth is, life is not waiting to hand you a manual. It's waiting for you to take the firsts, and the blessings you've been chasing, some of them have been chasing you, but they can't catch you if you keep dodging them. You don't need more time. You don't need more signs. You need one moment of bravery, followed by one moment of surrender. That's all it takes to shift your timeline. Decide, receive, repeat. So here's the charge. Step forward before you feel ready, and when the good shows up, open your arms. The doors you've been staring at will swing wide, and the gifts you've been praying for will land right in your hand. Not because you forced them, but because you finally let life do what it's been trying to do all along. Bless you. You've waited long enough. You've prayed, journaled, visualized, but somewhere in your heart, you've still been holding back. Not because the universe said no, but because you've been scared to say yes. The truth, every moment you delay alignment, you delay the life that was meant for you. This isn't about luck. This isn't about chance. This is about stepping into the frequency where blessings have no choice but to find you. The clock isn't your enemy, hesitation is. And the moment you decide that you are ready, life will move faster than you ever dreamed possible. It won't wait for perfect timing, because perfect is the moment you choose to believe. If you keep waiting for someday, you'll wake up in the same place years from now wondering what could have been. But if you move now, you'll look back and barely recognize the old version of you, the one who almost let fear win. The door is open, the blessing is calling, and you already have the key. If these words stirred something in your spirit, don't just scroll away, prove to yourself you're ready. Type 1 receive in the comments so the universe knows you've claimed it. Hit subscribe so you never miss your next divine nudge. And share this with someone whose blessing is overdue. Your miracle starts the moment you move. Ask Chat